Hello, Alison. Welcome. And
Hello, thank
thank
you.
you. Yeah, thank you. No, thank you very much for coming on today and sharing your story of recovery from migraines. It's as I was saying, it's really useful for other people who are suffering with migraines and might be considering using a mind-body approach to help their migraines. So yeah, just really appreciate you coming on today.
Great. Yeah, my pleasure.
And so, just to sort of go to your what we call the backstory, before you started this program, obviously you were experiencing migraines. Yeah, how frequent were they, and how much were they sort of affecting things?
They were, I would say, about 2 or 3 times a month, sometimes less, sometimes more, depending on what was going on in my life, basically, probably is the best way to describe it. Yeah.
Yes,
Usually weekends and often first day of a holiday.
yes, I remember. Yeah,
Um, I
yeah,
miss Toronto because we were only in Toronto for one day and
yeah.
I was in bed.
Yes, yes, and I think that's quite common. I hear that from other migraine sufferers that it can often come on after the stress of traveling or after a busy week,
Yeah.
towards, yeah, interesting. And sort of from what age did you start experiencing migraines?
About 13 or 14, I can't exactly say, but
Mm,
early teens. Yeah.
yeah.
Um,
Mm,
and I went to the doctor and they told me avoid these foods and try this medication. But I didn't find that any food particularly sparked a migraine. Okay, sometimes red wine, even in moderation. Uh,
yes,
that
yeah.
was one, but I mean, nothing really helped. I used to just, okay, I've got a migraine now. That's it now. Wait until it passes.
Mm. And did you used to have to go into a dark room and sleep and that kind of,
Yes.
yeah.
Once I had a migraine, I needed to be in a dark room and I just waited it for to pass, cold flannels and trying to think to sort of like make it better, but
Mm.
well, better you just to wait. You had to make it life sort of, well, if to feel a little bit better. Yeah.
Yeah. And did medications help at all?
No. And
No.
in the end, I sort of um, stopped. I have stomach problems as well. So then they were often too powerful and then they would make me feel more sick. And
Mm.
so I'd be like thinking, oh, if I'm going to take it, I'm going to be sick anyway. And then it doesn't work. So
Yes. Yeah.
it wasn't helpful.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm.
And I remember you, in terms of other treatments, you came, you actually saw me in person first, didn't you? And we tried, I think you had a couple of sessions where I tried to help, but it didn't really have any effect, did it? It didn't
No,
improve things at all. That was osteopathic treatment that I do. Yeah. Mm.
yes. And I thought, I mean, sometimes it is like the tension in my neck and everything, which we sort of look, but that didn't um, help. And I know I'd been to an osteopath here in Germany, and that actually caused a migraine. They like made it worse.
Yeah. Yeah, that's quite common as well. People, migraineurs report when if they go for a massage or something, sometimes that can actually bring on a migraine afterwards, which is interesting. Uh,
Mm.
yeah, and one of the things we were talking about just before we started was the fact that I think very often people don't realize that migraine itself is a chronic pain syndrome. It is a dysfunction of the nervous system. I don't think it's often classed within those conditions. Was that your experience as well, or?
Yes, I don't think I thought of it like that. I just thought I have migraines and that's me.
Yes.
No,
Yes.
I remember you telling me not to talk like that. That was I think I used to say, I'm a headache person. You said, no, you're not a headache person.
Yes, you had an
Um,
identity. Yeah.
and I did. And I think that was not,
Mm.
I now don't. I even almost want to say now I used to have migraines, but I haven't quite got that far to say that because
Yeah.
I don't want to jinx it. That sounds silly, but
It's been a couple of years since we started the work, hasn't it?
yes,
And you said you've had a year of being free of migraines.
yes.
this last year. So it's been an ongoing process, which is interesting, I think. A lot of the research shows that migraines are, there's a strong genetic component. And so a lot of people think, well, if my parents had it or somebody in my family had migraines, that's it. I'm kind of, yeah, that's my destiny kind of thing. So
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah.
I did think that, I mean, I didn't think it, nothing to do with my like genetics, but I did think, okay, that's me. Like my husband very rarely gets a headache. And I thought, okay, that's me. I'm, I get migraines and that's part of me. And I never even thought it, that it would be possible not to have migraines. And
Yeah.
when I tell people also migraine sufferers, they're like, they sort of look at me as if disbelieving, but I go, no,
Yeah.
it's true.
Good for you. Yeah, I'm glad you're talking about it. Yeah, because
Yes.
it's only somebody who's had migraines who can really yeah, really appreciate it. Because how were the symptoms? So how were the symptoms affecting your daily life? Were they placing much stress on things or
I think, I mean, I had said 2 or 3 a month, so I couldn't say daily because I didn't have them that often. I know some people have them uh, much more. Where it would be is if I like, because I recognize the signals like stress with work and things like that. If I had something important on, then I would worry about it beforehand.
Mm.
And probably, ironically, I'd probably get through the work and then the migraine would come. So it was almost silly to worry about it because I managed to do what I could do.
Yes,
And
yeah,
then, oof. Yeah. So
yeah,
somehow my body kept going
yes,
so it was unnecessary worry. And I still got the migraine. No.
yeah, yeah. So like an enforced rest after
Yes.
yeah.
That was something that I learned through the program, that's what it was, that my body was like saying, stop it now. It's enough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, interesting. And in terms of the actual, so the mind-body process, learning about all the strategies, were there some key moments that you felt really contributed towards your progress? Or some key things, there's journaling and there's some, we do the somatic tracking and yeah, was there
Just
some,
the journaling I found hard. Um, I think it was good. It's not something that I do now. I don't journal. I don't feel I need it, but I did it at the time, no. But the
Mm,
somatic, that was very helpful. And I remember, I remember uh, whilst we were still working together, I had like a week-long course, and I was at lunchtime. I was like feeling, oh, I'm not going to cope with this afternoon, and I had like half an hour break, and I went into my like um, you know well, what we practiced, and everything was then fine. Yeah, it didn't. I was like thinking I'm not going to cope with the afternoon, but it helped. Yeah, I mean, I didn't have the migraine, but I was panicking that one was building,
mm,
and
mm.
that was like I think probably maybe a first success, sort of feeling sense of achievement that I thought, oh, I can do something, I can
Yeah,
prevent it, and
yes.
that was that. Oh, exciting! Because
Absolutely. Yeah. It gave you some sense of I don't know, not control, but
control is wrong, but
yeah.
that being able to do something.
Yes. Yeah, something that would help. Yeah.
Mm.
Amazing. Yeah.
Mm.
And yeah, so did you talked about the fact that you learned to rewire, the way you thought about yourself in terms of preventing migraines from happening and letting go of things like yeah, letting go of some of the pressures that you put on yourself.
Yes, I think that's it. I think um certainly work wise, I'm a perfectionist, and I sort of um and I am a person that worries about what people think about me. And um I remember one of the hard things that also was like, you asked me to put down things that I was good at, and I really didn't want to do anything like that because that wasn't in me. And it was weird. That was hard. I thought it was funny. And then now I don't know whether it had an effect, but I can now say, oh yes, you've done a good job there, or think maybe if I have done something that maybe disappoints people, that I don't then worry about it. I think like, okay, you know,
Yeah.
that's unless I'm human. Yes, and sometimes you don't have to be perfect at everything. And often I'm like trying to be perfect, and in the end I get a good feedback for something, and then I'm like going, oh, so it was okay. Why did I stress about it before?
Mm.
And so I've learned, okay, Alison, stop stressing before, it'll be okay. No,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. And
Yeah.
stopping myself from you know, maybe trying to be too perfect. Because
Yeah.
if I look on back on things, most things are okay that I do.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Amazing. Well, it's self-awareness, isn't it?
Yes.
That's what you've got. You've got that self-awareness of yeah, just being in tune with okay, this is because we're so much of it is pre-programmed into us, isn't it?
Yeah.
From a long for many, many years, the way in which we think and being able to just sometimes stop ourselves in our tracks and yeah, reframe that. That's a big part of the process. Yeah, definitely.
Saying no to something that I don't want to do.
Yes, boundaries. Boundaries. Yeah.
Wasn't still not brilliant, but as I say, I have you in my ear and thinking, do I want to do this? Do I need to do this?
Mm.
And then make the decision. I might still say yes, but I'm making a conscious decision that's also about what's good for me.
Yes, amazing. Yeah.
And that's and don't have to I would in the past would have always thought I have to say yes, and if I would say no, I'm being selfish.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now I can say no and thinking, well, I'm not being selfish.
Yeah. Amazing. Yeah. It's it's a behavioral it's a yeah, behavioral change that one, isn't it? A real
Yes.
yeah, yeah, fantastic. Because there's this idea, isn't there, that because when and I was always one for boundaries as well. But when we won't say no, our body does it for us. So,
Yes.
your body just knows you'll keep going and keep going and keep going, and then eventually it says, right, we've had enough now.
Yeah.
Migraine
That's
time to take some time
yes.
out.
Yes.
And yeah, but it kind of your nervous system becomes aware of when you're putting in the boundaries, it doesn't feel that need to protect you as much. So, it can let go of
Yeah.
some of the need to protect. That's always what it's about, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes. As I say, it's definitely something in my behavior that's changed.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think, and I see it as positive, like protecting me.
Yes. Yeah, you said something about that in terms of um the yeah when in your sort of first year of doing this process you used to start to be when they did because they were getting less frequent but they were still around
Yes.
and then you said you used to be grateful for them. Yeah.
Yes, I know that sounds weird. And I remember they were twice, and they were both on holiday. So both beginning of holidays um and I just thought, okay, I understand it now. And then I just accepted it. I thought, you've got the migraine, it will pass, and your body's telling you you've been doing too much, and take it as a warning is like, but a little, yeah, a little warning, and then start thinking, how can I change? Be grateful that it was making me be aware of what I'd been, yeah, doing wrong. But I mean, in the sense of, doing too much or worrying about things or whatever. Yeah. So it was a weird thing. I'd never felt grateful, but I think that was because I'd understood it was my body trying to protect me.
Mm.
It forced me to lie down and stop.
Yes. I mean, that's wonderful because that then changes the whole way in which yeah, it's that non-resistance, isn't it? It's
Yes,
they talk about sort of, oh, okay, the symptoms are here, welcoming them in, and yeah, yeah, I've been expecting you. And that just takes away one whole level of other more stress, doesn't it? About, oh
yes.
no, I've got a migraine, oh no, that catastrophizing around things. It's
And
yeah.
yes, that's it. It was that. also because like before it'd be, oh no, and it's ruined, and it's like, missing a day
Mm.
in Toronto. But at the end of the day, okay.
Yeah, yeah, brilliant, amazing. And yeah, we there was another thing we talked about as well. What I mean, I kind of approached you, didn't I, about you trying the
Yes.
mind body system. So what were your thoughts? And you say you've already tried to talk to other people about it, but what really helped you to understand the this mind body paradigm? Because it is a bit of a different way of thinking, isn't it? To normal ways of looking at symptoms and problems in the body.
Yes.
Did you read Georgie's book, The Key to Unlock Your Chronic Pain? You know, the Georgie Oldfield book.
I listened to it.
Oh, you listened to
I
it.
listened to it. Yeah, yeah. I listened to it
Yeah.
in the car. Yeah, yeah. So yes, I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think um you have to be. Well, obviously, you have to be open to it. Yeah. Um, through a family member of mine, I saw the power of the mind. Won't go into details, and so I was very I believed in it right from the beginning. I didn't, well, when I say believe, I thought it's definitely worth a shot because I'd seen with another family member, different context, but that the mind you can do a lot with your mind.
Mm,
And so I was excited by it because I thought, okay,
yeah.
there's potential here.
Brilliant. Yeah. Yeah. So,
Um, I didn't think, oh yes, it's definitely going to work, but I thought, right, I was inquisitive, perhaps, curious.
yes, that is the way we know we really do ask people to be about it because if you've got expectations that it's gonna, I'm gonna do this and it's gonna work by this
Yes.
time, it's too much
No, it
pressure
wasn't.
then,
It was, that's
isn't it?
it. And then that's what I thought. I was just like, okay, let's just, I think, go with the flow. Just let's see where it takes us.
Yeah.
And I never thought that I would not have migraines.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
that I didn't, that wasn't an expectation.
Wow.
I just thought, okay, let's see how I can like reduce them or maybe cope with them in a different way or just deal with it.
Yes.
And and for me, it's like it's amazing.
Yeah. No, it's fantastic. And there was something else that you've been using as well. I think you said that after we did the program, and you then took up Zumba.
Yes. Zumba, I've always liked dancing and I needed to do some kind of fitness and I thought and I'd done dancing as a child, yeah. And I thought, okay, let's go find a Zumba class. And it's just for me and I threw the program. It's weird because it made me think about me and what about myself. And so maybe I would have gone to Zumba without the program, but it did like sort of I was thinking, oh, what do I like? I went and um it's great for me, obviously fitness wise, and I think not my posture's not here now, but it's helpful, which is because I often had like neck pain, sort of causing maybe sometimes the migraines, and also it's a time when I don't think about anything else. I just think about the music and the steps, and it forces me not to think about anything because as soon as and it's funny because I'm a I'm a bit there. I'm still a perfectionist. I want to dance. I want to do it right. And as soon as I start thinking about something else, I can't do it.
Mm.
I'm
Mm. Yeah.
and I'm like going, Alison, come back. And it's like it's really good because
Yeah.
it brings me back to just this.
Yeah.
And so it's great for my mind in that sense. No, I remember when we the somatic, you said, "Oh, don't worry if you get distracted, come back." And it's like it's the same kind of thing. Come back. You're not.
Yes. Absolutely.
It
Yeah.
doesn't matter if you're distracted, but you do need to come back.
Mm, mm. Yeah, wonderful. Yeah, and it kind of brings you into that sense of flow, doesn't it, when you're in the
Yes.
present moment? Yeah. And we also talked about how Zumba is also fun, isn't it? Well,
Yes,
it might
I
not
love
be
it.
for
That's
everybody,
Well, it
but
is
it
for
is for
me,
you.
and it's like the music, and then I have that feeling when if I can do like the routine right, I'm like, ooh, then you have that sense of achievement, and it's fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And the brilliant thing about it, that whole being in the present moment and being in flow, and then also just when you're having fun, we don't feel fear. And so
No.
even though you're throwing your body around and in the past that might have seemed a bit dangerous, when you're having fun, when you're in flow, then that part of your nervous system, the hypervigilant part, yeah, it doesn't really get a look in. It's just
Oh,
yeah.
and I never get like before, or even like now, I might still get a bit like tense, feeling of tension, maybe a headache. Like if I do weights or if I do more like sort of a kind of yoga kind of thing, and that because that's like it's not necessarily so fun for me. And he's like, then I obviously don't let go. Whereas in Zumba, I'm just like, let's, I do it. And so I never get that tense feeling after Zumba. Whereas like if I've done weights or something like that, the next day I'm like, oh, and it's not just the like muscle pain. It's like, oh,
Mm. Yeah.
um, I
Yeah.
often used to get like a headache, like I'd go on a Wednesday to like a sort of yoga kind of Pilates sort of group. By Friday, I'd have Friday was a headache day,
Mm.
end of the week, and it felt like the tension from the
Mm.
sport itself.
Yeah, I remember. Yes.
That
Yeah.
was, and
Yeah.
now with Zumba, I don't have it. It's Friday evening, and it's yay.
Fantastic. Fantastic. It's so interesting, isn't it? The different ways in which our nervous system interprets these things. Yeah. So
Mm.
amazing. Fantastic. Is there anything that you think would encourage somebody else to try a mind-body approach to their migraines?
I think it's a little bit what I said before, just be open at the beginning, don't have high expectations, but and whatever will be. Like in that first year, I did still have migraines, but I didn't think, oh, it's not working.
Mm.
I just thought, okay. And like we said before, I changed my approach to when I did have a migraine, it was like, okay, it's not great, but
Mm.
there's a reason. Um, and so I did change the way I thought about migraines. Or yeah. But I think just be open and it's not, and what I found great is that there's the program, but then the program sort of like you do things also by yourself in the set, like say with me with Zumba or doing other things. Like I'm much more aware of like my body, no, as in I'm thinking, oh, now, or like I now do sort of more breathing techniques, and I'm thinking when I'm breathing, I used to do that kind of relaxation before, but I wasn't aware. I was almost doing it because everybody says if you breathe, it's good for you. Yeah.
Mm. Yes. Yeah. Amazing. Yeah. So, I mean, what's the biggest changes you've noticed in your symptoms now then?
Well, for me, that I haven't had a migraine for over a year,
Yeah. Okay.
which has not happened since I was 13.
Yeah. Amazing. Amazing.
And that is amazing. Still get headaches. I do get headaches, but nothing. Yeah, like I suppose not everybody, but it's nothing. They're not debilitating. I don't have to. I can just carry on.
Mm.
No, I do still then with a headache. Sometimes I would take medication. Sometimes it's not. I don't. But I don't. It's the migraine's gone,
Mm. And
and it has gone.
yeah, brilliant. That's amazing. And with the headaches, do you notice again, do you see them as a sort of a slight mind-body syndrome there? Do you often associate your headaches anymore, the ones that are left over with stress-related things?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Because we
Yes.
say it is an ongoing process.
Yes.
The very severe with this process, the very severe pain resolves. But then we're human beings, and we do still get pain here and there. Um,
Yes.
yeah, but usually there's no panic because you think, oh well, you know where that's coming from, and at some point I'll take some time out to go and have a look at that and process that. Yeah.
And I think that's it. I think that's also one of the things that I don't panic. Like before, I'd like sometimes at the beginning of a headache. I didn't, is it headache or is it migraine? I remember like saying to my husband, oh, I'm not sure if I've got a migraine or what is going to, which direction, wasn't always. And so then I'd like, oh, panic. And
Mm.
now I like, okay, I've got a headache now. And then I go through like what I can do for myself you know, and if and then I then think, okay, no, I need to take a tablet, then I do.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's and then they work,
Yeah.
no.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
not a problem.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Fantastic. Yeah. Wonderful. And yeah, does life look a bit different now then as a result of doing this process? And does in terms of where you are now and where you are a few years ago?
Yes, in the sense that obviously I don't have the migraine, so that's great. And I think the fact that I am also like aware of myself more, that I'm able to, set boundaries maybe that I couldn't do before, or, it makes things easier.
Mm.
Certain things, like before I would have said, oh, yes, I'm going to do that, even though I perhaps didn't want to, and I'd be feeling guilty. I think that I had a lot of guilt
Yeah.
feelings
Yeah.
in,
Yeah.
as a person, and now that's not completely gone, but I'm able to sometimes think, no, Alison, what is it? No, is
Mm.
it necessary? You don't have to say yes.
Yes. Yeah. That's wonderful.
It doesn't make you a bad person if
No.
you say no.
Yeah. Absolutely. And that is one of the classic personality types of people who tend to suffer with this kind of pain. So it's and I think, well, the other thing is that when you tell people that there is a stress component to migraines that can be helped with a mind body approach, a lot of people feel that you're saying, well, oh, does that mean I have to change my life because the stresses that I'm under are, I can't get out of them. They're part of my life.
Yes.
I've got busy work or family or some sort of situation. And it's really trying to explain to people that you don't have to change your life. You don't have
No.
to stop your work, or it's much more about how you approach the stresses, isn't it? It's much more about, as you say, reframing, emotional processing, and then tuning into the body. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Because I have to say, at one point, I thought, oh, maybe I should work less, or whatever. Not, I mean, beforehand, thinking because I was aware to a certain extent that stress wasn't good for me, but now I haven't, I work as much as I did before. It's all the same,
Mm.
apart from as in work wise. No, the stress is the same. It's
Yeah,
just it's how I deal with it is different.
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Mm.
Mhm. And I'm not spending hours and hours. It's not like taking so much out of my like every day so that I can, it's not. It's sort of built into my day. Some like driving and breathing and thinking, "Ooh,
Yeah,
where's the
yeah,
pain? The pain's here. Let it go. It'll go away." And
yeah. Wonderful.
mhm.
Wonderful. And if, I mean, the only other thing to ask you is how was it helpful to work with a practitioner like myself? Do you think that was helpful in addition to doing the reading and learning about the process?
Oh yes, yes, 100%. Because um, I don't know. There were some things that you said to me that were for me uncomfortable, that like making me say what I was good at, or some things that I would like say and I was like, ooh, but I wouldn't have got that in a book.
No.
And looking at certain things in a different way. And I don't think if you read, I don't know, some people might be able to, but for me, that's that personal component you need, yeah,
Yes.
because
Yeah.
each person is different. Like how you were with me would be different to how you were. Whereas the book is like, I
Yes.
don't know.
Yeah. I get what you mean. Yeah. 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 No, absolutely. Well, it was a pleasure working with you because you really did take everything on yeah, you did what was suggested, and you often doubted whether you were doing it right. I remember,
Yes.
that was part of the
No.
reframing, wasn't it? You became aware of that tendency to sort of second guess or doubt yourself, and you worked on that as well. So that was, yeah, really amazing, really amazing. Yeah.
Yes. It was one of my doubts before doing this because I thought to start with, I was thinking, oh, am I going to say the right things? And then I thought, no, exactly that is the thing. You will say what you say, and that's okay.
Yeah. Fantastic. It's yeah, this is the evidence, isn't it? This is the evidence. Well, you've done amazingly well to come on and tell us your story today. I really, really appreciate it. And I hope that other migraine sufferers who are considering the mind-body approach and working with SIRPA practitioners will also, have a chance to listen to your recovery story. And I hope it inspires them to give it a go. So
Me too, because that's why I came on, because I'm, so happy with the whole program.
thank you. Thank you so much, Alison. Yeah.
Thank
And
you.